Are we live?
Being ready every single morning, live 7:55. Oh, the sound.
Have you heard that Daniel sometimes has computer issues?
Oh my gosh. He's got hair issues, he's got computer issues. And this morning, I went back and before we started, this is a pro tip about live streams, morning live streams that start at 7:55 and end at 8:10 with your friend Fred. Don't eat any nuts before you start the program.
What could happen if you do?
Well, you're going to have a lot of things in your teeth. And you're going to have to make a last second run to get a little toothpick, you know?
It's like eating a kale salad, you know, in front of a group of friends. You just hope that somebody tells you, dude, you have a piece of kale in your tooth.
Hey, Russ would tell me, he would put in the comments and call me out, Daniel, you have some kale in your teeth. At least I think you would. And DJ, good morning. Great to have you here. Love the energy. Thank you guys for showing up. This is part of the deal, right? It's connecting with others. It's getting a little encouragement. Please put your thoughts in the comments. This is a mindset show. It's an energy show. It's an intentionality. It's discipline. It's accountability. What else is it, Fred?
Speaking of discipline and accountability, the last 10 minutes of the national championship game last night, Houston experienced what they did to Duke.
Got it right back to them, didn't they?
It was a complete meltdown. They didn't even get a shot off the last two possessions. You're trying to win a national championship.
That was tough. That was some great defense by Florida, though, to end that game. I mean, the guy to get around that screen, to get a hand, to get a challenge on that ball, to me, that was like, wow. And then nobody knows what to do with the ball, and you know that was a tough way to end. You want to get the ball at the rim, right? Like you want to get something up, right?
You want to get something up, and here's the deal: the guy catches it, he's gonna go shoot a three. He leaves the floor, drops the ball, knowing in his mind, if I grab it, it's a double dribble. But do you put the pressure on the officials at that point? With 3 seconds to go to make a call.
Had he just played out, but once he did this, there was he gave him no choice.
Yep.
If he would have just now again, I will say that the effort to get to that ball was unbelievable. Yeah. I mean, now you are in the final play of your, of a national championship game, so we're all going to be playing hard. But really, to get around that screen, to make that challenge instead of going for the rebounding position even, right? I mean, it just because he was out of position. They got him the ball, they got his shot, but not anywhere close. So good morning, Ken. Great to see you here as well. And I'm not sure what time it is in his part of the world, but probably much different than where we are. It's time to talk a little personal development. It's time to talk a little mindset. You ready?
This is what I'm ready for here.
The sip. Yeah. Let's do that. Let's go ahead. What you got for us,
Danny? Let's go.
Let's roll. Okay, let's talk something. We're going to talk something. Here we go. Quote of the day.
Quote of the day. Quote of the day.
Quote of the day. Here we are. We're looking for what would be the perfect. What I did this morning, Fred. I wrote down several things that were on my mind, and then I gave those to AI, and it really really fleshed out a lot of good ideas. I want to read. I'm gonna read this one. This is Napoleon Hill. What the mind can conceive and believe, the mind can achieve. What the mind can conceive and believe, the mind can achieve. I want to talk a little bit about, there it is. I had to switch back to you. Fred, you got a question?
I held that thing up there for 30 seconds.
Well, folks, now you know I was reading through the on another screen. Sorry, Fred, go ahead.
Does your AI have a name?
Grok.
So everybody's is Grok.
Well, if you're using X, it's called Grok AI, and then Google has Gemini, and everyone has their own kind of, like you might have a Google search engine, you might have, whatever back in the day.
So, but you can't name it what you want to name it.
Yeah, you can, and I have. You can essentially give it an identity and tell it to be. And I think at some point, yes, you'd have a personal kind of AI bot that was specific to you. But right now, it's just kind of like you're using their service, I would say.
Gotcha. So if you were to give it a male name, what would it be? MALE, male.
A male name for my AI. And I've gotten into the habit of just calling it Grok, but I don't know. I would call it. I don't know. I don't have any creative or any thoughts on it right now. What I would call it.
Well, what if you gave it a female name? What would it be?
Let's call it Sarah. Hey, Sarah, what's the score to the game?
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Now I can certainly see the communicating with, if you turn on the communication, the back and forth with that, there's something there. But yeah, it doesn't feel personalized enough to go into the naming of it.
Okay, good deal. Yeah, I didn't know, as much as you watch Andy Griffith, I didn't know if you'd like bring up some characters from Mayberry and name it off of that.
Well,
or Three's Company. You used to love Three's Company when you were in elementary school.
Three's Company? Never watched. That was one that I never watched. Old Three's Company. Did you watch Three's Company?
Absolutely.
Did you?
Looking back, what a crazy show.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't even know I don't know the plot of that one, but I know that it was crazy. I do remember that.
Hey, here's what I know, though. You gave us a quote from Napoleon Hill, correct?
Yeah, I did.
And he's talking about you have to go there in the mind before you go there in the body. Is that what you get out of that?
Essentially, yes. Mm-hmm. Yes.
If you can't see it, how can you get there?
Yeah, and it's such a powerful thing. I mean, visualizing and creating that vivid visualization, let's call it, that's a big deal. A vivid visualization, and then we take action and overcome ourselves to essentially bring that to fruition. And I do believe it gives us something to work on, and there's something about painting that vision, visualizing a speech, visualizing a meeting, visualizing the show. I mean, even given a little bit of intentionality, what I did before I had some meetings yesterday, I just thought about those meetings. I thought about how I would want those meetings to go, how the connection would feel, how I would feel if it was going good, how they would feel at the end of the meeting, right? What we would discuss, what would be that one thing that really, it seemed to connect us, or whatever the case might be, right? So once I planted those seeds, Fred, I was able to go through the meeting, and when I ding, it's like a little bell going off, and this gives you confidence. You start feeling like, oh, you're creating your own reality. And while I'm on this, I got to say one other thing. One other way that I use this, let's say you're going to get up and you're going to work out. Don't visualize you waking up feeling good. You visualize you waking up, you're like, oh my goodness, I'm going to wake up and I am going to feel terrible. I'm not going to want to do anything. And then visualize yourself shaking it off, right? I mean, it sounds,
Right.
if you anticipate it and you expectations sometimes are what give us confidence. So if we expect to not feel good, but then to immediately do something and feel better, I don't know. Is that crazy?
No, well, you got to do what works for you. But here's how I use what you're talking about with my two boys.
Yeah.
Let's say we're headed to a basketball tournament and it's before the game, and I pull them aside and say, look, I want you to visualize the game. What are you going to do if this team presses? Go there in the mind. Where are they coming from? Where should your teammates be? If you get through the press and you get to set up a half-court offense, what's the first play you're going to run if they're in man, if they're in zone? Go there in the mind and be prepared for whatever happens.
What about this? Similar to what was happening in the Duke game in the semifinal. What happens if we start losing our confidence, right? What happens if something happens where I'm no longer, and that's kind of what I'm doing when I say I wake up and I don't feel good, right? I am anticipating that, generally speaking, when you wake up, you're tired. And if you think I'm going to feel good, and so what do you tell your boys? I like that. What do you tell your boys about expecting if something starts going wrong? How do we get out of it?
Well, you got to go back to your routine. What got you there? What got you to the semifinal? What is disrupting that routine, and how can you adjust to get back to it? That's the biggest issue, no matter what you're doing.
I like that. You know, Fred, let me ask you this too. You were talking about, I'm sure the game, you've watched a lot of basketball, the game starts slowing down. So you start seeing things that your boys don't. They're out there playing, and that is you trying to communicate what you see before and trying to help them see it. Isn't that a big part of it, to help them start seeing what's actually happening, so that, because you probably see things they could have done, right?
Absolutely. You can't see the picture when you're inside the frame. So you have to expect an outside voice to walk you through your situation sometimes.
Yeah, that's awesome. And that's really what a good coach is. Hey, let's do this right here.
Get ready. It's time for the 2-minute skill.
It's time for the 2-minute skill.
Hey, here's the deal. You talked about waking up and convincing yourself that, you know what, I'm not going to wake up feeling good. And if that is the case, here's the deal. Number one, wake up and always go to battle. Every day you should expect a battle, like a competition, and you must avoid distractions. Number two, never run out of purpose. Right? If you're in a battle, you're avoiding distractions. Never run out of purpose. Set big goals to keep the purpose high. Always think about, this is number three, always think about how embarrassed would I be if I lost my battle in front of everybody. Will that keep your purpose up? The fear of embarrassment? I cannot stand embarrassment. What about you, Danny?
Keeps you on your toes. That's all that accountability, saying it out to the world. Go ahead.
Never allow complacency to creep in. Number four, who are you? What is your identity? I love to say show up and show out. Show up, grow up, don't complain, don't whine. What is your identity every day to go into battle? Hey, today, don't care what you did yesterday. Today is a new battle. Be ready. And how persistent are you while you do this? You have to have a long obedience in the same direction. Because, Danny, here's the deal. This is not a skill problem winning the battle every day. It's an attitude problem. The reasons that most people lose is not because other people beat them. It's because they don't do what they've been trained to do. It's that simple.
I like it. Good stuff. That is the 2-minute skill, and we're at the end of our show. And I, Daniel Allison, the average dude, is going to take the final thought. Will is greater than skill. And with that, have a great day. Fred, you got anything? I don't know if I can do the final thought like you can.
Ask yourself today, who is beating me and why?
Ooh, I like it. Hey, thanks, guys. Thanks, Garen. Thanks, Russ. Didn't have time to read both of those, but we appreciate y'all, and we will see you tomorrow. Let's roll.